everybody, Chris Schaefer at Pautzke Outdoors. Today we're going to take you to one of the most popular places to fish in all of South Carolina for trout. We're going to take you right here to the East Fork of the Chattooga River, right next to the Walhalla Fish Hatchery, to show you where you can come and expect to catch lots of trout. Come with us, enjoy the day here in beautiful South Carolina in a cool place that's loaded with all different kinds of trout.
This is a good one,
Ooh.
Joe.
One brook trout in the middle of the rainbows. Come on, big boy.
I got him.
You still got it?
Remain calm. Oh, this is a pretty one. Joe, if you got you, swim out there. Oh my gosh. Check out this beautiful brook trout, big male. This has to be one of the prettiest brook trout I've ever caught, and probably personally one of the biggest I've ever caught. We're gonna get a picture and let him go.
There it is, got him. Oh, that's not the brook he was after. Nice rainbow though.
Looks good.
Looks good. Let's get a green label on that one. Look at that. Want to get the net there, big boy?
I got it.
You want to bend down for it? Oh, there you go. Look at this nice rainbow. Green label salmon eggs drifting right through a seam over here.
Get a picture of this one. Check out this beautiful brook trout. It's about as good looking as you can get. It's almost like a cheerleader of all fish around here. Just beautiful fish. One of the prettiest brook trout I've ever caught. I mean, just awesome colors.
All right, I'm going to throw in the tried and true green label Pautzke salmon egg that's been around forever. I know a lot of you people out here, as far as in this part of the country, have not really used these before. These are incredible. You're going to see this on the first cast. We'll drift it down, see what happens.
So those of you that are new to trout fishing, green label salmon eggs are real salmon eggs. They come from real salmon, which they don't have any in this part of the country. But we get them from other parts, and trout love them. And as you saw, Kyle used a fireball. A fireball is not a real egg. It is an egg imitation. We're going to see how long it takes Joe to catch this fish.
Get the fish hung up over there.
It should not take long.
There we go.
That took less than 1 second. Scrappy little rainbow. There it is.
There it is. Look at that nice rainbow here in South Carolina.
All right, so those of you guys that are new to trout fishing, maybe you're from Columbia, maybe you're from Charleston, maybe you're from somewhere in the low country, you never trout fished before. We got 3 different kind of trout baits here, and you can find these in any sporting goods store. On the left, you got Pautzke fire bait. All right, that's a dough bait that molds into a hook. Okay, in the middle you have green label. All right, green label has been used for catching trout since 1934. Over 90 million jars of those have been sold. All right, that is a real salmon egg. And if you look on the right, those are what's called red fireballs. Now those fireballs, they might look, taste, smell, and fish just like a real egg, but they're not real. They're imitation eggs. They look like a real egg. They're just not as messy. So any of these 3 baits will work extremely well here in South Carolina. The choice on which to use is yours.
We're using red fireballs here today. You know, and it's pretty simple. Fish just like red eggs, and this is real simple to use. I mean, it's not messy at all. I mean, it just, I'm putting 2 eggs right on a size 14 single hook. And I mean, you can use 1. I just like using 2. It's just personal preference. It's the biggest one I caught in South Carolina.
So that's a brook trout. This water is so clear that we can see that from here. We're going to see if we can get it to bite. You can see there's a rainbow right behind its tail. So maybe there's a chance we'll catch one of the 2.
There it is, got him.
Finally! Is that the brook trout?
That's a brookie, finally.
Wow. You got the net, right?
Get them out of here.
We're going to finish the day off with another brook trout.
Look at that.
Wow.
Woo!
You can't even get it in the net.
Nice tail.
Yeah!
Wow.
Biggest brookie I've ever caught.
Rookie heaven today.
Woo! Look at this thing. Amazing. Almost 2 pounds, I'm sure.
Today's episode of Pautzke Outdoors comes to you from the South Carolina mountains, where it's always trout season. And ironically, so many people tell us all the time, there are no trout in South Carolina. It's a hot place, it's a low place. You know, it's not a lot of mountains. Guess what? South Carolina has some of the prettiest mountains in the entire eastern United States. Now, there's not a lot of space up here, but where the mountains are, it is absolutely beautiful. Now, this little area, you know, North Carolina is just over the border here. Georgia's just over the border here. We are in South Carolina, roughly about an hour from Clemson, on the East Fork of the Chattooga River. It's one of the easiest places on the planet to find if you're a trout fisherman. There's no spot burning here, folks. Guess what? They stock it every single week of the year. We've actually been here before. As a matter of fact, we were here last year. The reason we're here again is I had a couple of friends. We came in town for a Clemson football game, and they said, I want to catch trout. We don't have a lot of time. I said, you know what? The best place to go in the state, the easiest place to go in the state, is going to be the East Fork of the Chattooga River. And when you take a look, maybe take a look at some drone footage, you'll see this East Fork runs parallel right next to the Walhalla Fish Hatchery. So the South Carolina Division of Natural Resources, it doesn't take much for them to stock fish. They take them out of the hatchery, they bring them right across the path here, and they put them in this creek. Now, the East Fork is a little bit different than, say, the main stem of the Chattooga River, mainly because it's a lot smaller. It's small, it is super crystal clear, and it's got mostly brook trout and rainbow trout. Now, I think they stock about anywhere from 100 to 200 pounds a week all year long. They do not prep browns in here. Browns are wild in the system, but the rainbows and the brooks, they put them in here all the time. Now, we were fortunate today to catch a couple of massive brook trout. Why did we catch them? Well, we know brook trout love fire bait. You know, we grabbed the garlic salmon egg fire bait, and sure enough, those brookies hammered it. And it's so clear here, you can actually see where the trout are. Now, all the other trout today, all the rainbows, mostly came on red fireballs and green label salmon eggs. You know, any of these 3 baits are great baits to use when you're up here in South Carolina. They're all 3 different baits. You know, you have a dough bait, you have a real bait, which is the salmon egg, and then you have a artificial bait, which is the red fireballs. Now, there's not a lot of place to fish here. You know, we're here during the week. We always come here during the week simply because weekends can be very crowded. If you look at the fishing report, the stocking report tells you every single week that they stock this section of creek. Now, that just makes it really popular. But fortunately, you can come week after week after week and have a great time because they just keep stocking it, so there's always fish around. Now, we caught and released all of our trout today, including some of the nicest brook trout we've ever caught in our lives. Now, we caught some really nice brook trout up here last time we came. This year was no different. You know, there weren't a lot of brook trout in the creek, but the ones that we did see were absolute beauties. Now, you'll notice that this is straight hardcore mountains. It's beautiful up here. You know, you'll find, you know, a tree line, a lot of hardwoods, a lot of pines, and some of the most beautiful places really in all of the Southeast. Little did you know that we're only about, I would say, an hour and 15 minutes from Greenville, maybe an hour from Anderson. The closest city you'll find on a map is Walhalla. But like I said before, Google Walhalla Fish Hatchery, and your Google Maps, your GPS, whatever you try to use, your Waze, will take you right here. Now, you'll find that there's a big parking lot. We're fishing upstream of that parking lot. If you go downstream, there's a couple really big holes that have twice as many fish in them as we do. They're larger holes, there's handicap access. This is a great place to take everybody fishing. Pautzke products are available at sporting goods stores near you. If you can't find the specific color, size that you want, make sure to go to Pautzke.com. And as a thank you for watching Pautzke Outdoors, we're going to show you a coupon code to be used for 10% off your next order.